Section 70 of 5-Minute Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Diana Schmidt. 5-Minute Stories by Laura E. Richards. A Funny Fellow. A great many queer things happen in this world, and this morning I saw one of them. We have a little aquarium, just a long glass box with some stones arranged in it to form a pretty little rock work, and plenty of bladderwort for the fish to feed on. We have a good many fish, 3 sticklebacks, and a lot of dace, the pretty silver dace, and some minnows, and a crayfish. But the pride of the aquarium is the newt. Did you ever see a newt? He is a little creature, like a lizard, about 2 inches long, in color light brown with black spots. He is quite tame and not in the least afraid of us. Well, yesterday morning I was watching the fish and seeing that the greedy ones did not get more than their share of breakfast, when Master Newt came up out of the water and seated himself on top of the rock work, which projects an inch or 2 above the surface. He sat quite still for a few minutes, and I made no motion, thinking he had come to take a look at the upper world, and would prefer to be left to himself. Presently he began to move his little paws about. They are just like tiny hands with long, thin fingers, and to rub himself, and wriggle about in a very queer way. I had watched him for some minutes before I realized what he was doing. But suddenly it flashed upon me that he was going to change his skin. I knew that newts often changed their skin, but I never expected to see one do it. Presently it was loose enough, and my little friend began to draw it off, slowly, beginning with the paws. The skin came off in perfect shape, and in a moment there was a pair of fairy gloves floating in the water. The prettiest things that ever were seen. Next, Master Newt began to unbutton his waistcoat, so to speak, and then to take off coat, waistcoat, breeches, and all. He did look very fine in his new coat, which shone with lovely colors, and was as soft and smooth as gossamer. I thought I should like to have a new dress every day if I could manage it with no more trouble than this. But what was he going to do with his old clothes? There were no closets in the aquarium, no clothes bags, no obliging old clothes fish who would take it off his hands and give him a trifle for it. What would he do with the old suit? I was soon to see. Master Newt sat still for a few minutes after his great feat, seeming to enjoy the change, waving his delicate crest with evident satisfaction. Then he took up the old suit of skin which lay on the rock beside him, and then, who can guess what he did next? Mind, I saw this with my own 2 eyes, the very ones that are looking down on this paper as I write. Why, he rolled it up carefully, made a ball of it, and then ate it up. End of A Funny Fellow.